You are bound to make enemies along the way. You can't make everybody happy. This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. Today I'm going to talk to you about why you can't make everybody happy and why you find yourself pissing some people off. Because in your mind, you're doing everything right. You're doing what you believe in, you're doing what you want to do, and you're exploring your own potentiality and basically climbing the ladder of success. But you're finding some people are jealous of you, want to sabotage you, talk behind your back, and really wish you bad things. Now, in life, this is what happens. When I grew up skateboarding, I was a big fish in a little pond, I'll put it that way. And I, excelled. I learned these tricks and whatnot. And I found most of the people that I skateboarded with, we were happy for each other and succeeding, if you will, landing the tricks, making the tricks. And there's always that one person who was jealous, who didn't want to see people land their tricks, who was kind of happy to see us fall and hurt ourselves. You're going to encounter people like that. Few and far between. There were more people in my life that we supported each other. There's always a few people who don't. And I remember when I won my scholarship out of high school, there was a classmate of mine who also competed in the same competition. And when I got first place, he got third place. And he was jealous, had nothing but bad things to say about me. He didn't congratulate me. He had nothing but bad things to say about me afterwards because he was jealous. And he was always like that. And, you're going to find people like that. It's life. Such is life. In any endeavor that you apply yourself to, especially in a professional setting, in a corporate setting, you're not going to get along with every coworker. You're going to find some people want to help you and other people want to see you fail because they're living in a competition mindset. They believe that in order for them to succeed, you have to fail. They think in order to win, someone has to lose. And they don't understand a win-win mentality. With friends, you may agree to disagree. It's kind of easy because you know each other's values. You know that you're friends. You know that they love you to some degree. So it's okay to disagree and argue. But there is that, they say you are the product of the 5 people in your life. And if you hang out with people who aren't supportive, who have no accountability, who live an unhealthy lifestyle, have bad habits, so to speak, like drinking and smoking, staying up late, not really working towards anything, are very lazy and apathetic and want you to live that lifestyle with them, you got to examine yourself and question your loyalty because those are the people that are going to bring you down. You got to surround yourself with people who want to help you win and are open to allowing you to help them win at life. Because when you surround yourself with success-minded people, you accelerate your potential. This is what I did when I skateboarded. I always skateboarded with people who were better than me. I snowboarded with people who were better than me because it helped me learn. It pushed me. And then in my learning, I pushed them, and we all get stoked on it. We'd be happy for one another. Life, if you only take the easy road, you're never going to win in anything. Now, along the way, whatever vision you have for yourself, you're going to find people that are supportive of it, and you're going to find people who just want to criticize you, who tell you that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, it's a stupid idea. And you usually hear that from family, most of all, believe it or not. But when you're in your circle of friends, and there's 3 of them that are, yeah, that's such a great idea, we're all for it, what can we do to help you? And you find that one person who's like, what a dumb idea. They're never going to do it. Question your friendship with them. If you're in a work team at work and you're working on a project, you get the promotion and someone else doesn't. They're going to complain. They're going to say, well, I worked harder than him. Why did he get the promotion and I didn't? Well, it's not always about how hard you work. It's about the problems you solve. And you may have a discussion with them saying, hey, look, I know you're a little upset I got the promotion, you didn't. Look, I know you worked really hard on this project and, I saw you put your time in. I'm not here to step on anybody. I believe in a win-win situation. What can I do to help you out? That's how you handle it. If it's a group of friends and you say, dude, what's your problem? Man, I want to better myself, and you're like trying to stop me. Most of the time, you're going to hear from a friend, well, dude, you're leaving me behind. They feel abandoned. They feel like they're at a certain disposition in life, and they're comfortable there. And if you're succeeding and getting ahead, that you're going to abandon them. That's usually what it boils down to. But when you find that person who's really just an enemy, who spites you, who does things to spite you, to sabotage you, well, you got to watch out for them. When you see people smile when you're hurting, you can see a little smirk, a little gleam in their eye. They're actually happy that you're suffering. Those are the people you got to watch out for, because they will sabotage you. They will put a knife in your back. And you're going to find them in every circle and every walk of life. Such is life. Now, you can confront them. You can say, dude, what's your deal? I didn't do anything to you. Why are you trying to hurt me? Usually, you'll never get a straight answer. They're just a sociopath. They're a malignant narcissist. Stay away from them. Protect yourself by not engaging with them, and protect your work by not sharing it with them. Because they will take your work and give themselves credit. They will steal your work, literally. And this is what happens. You can't make everybody happy. You can't win everybody over. And the thought that you can, is what's causing your disappointment. See, when you expect things from people and they don't meet them, it causes disappointment. Because we human beings, it's natural for us to demand, basically the need to belong. We all have a need to belong. We want to feel loved. It's a natural human need. It's an instinct. Nobody wants to feel left out and abandoned. And out of that desire to belong, some people become people pleasers. They just tell you what you want to hear. They agree with you because they don't want to feel abandoned. This happens with borderline personality disorder. The fear of abandonment is huge in them, and they may often take your side and come across as being sincere. Like what you like, agree with what you say, agree with your opinions, get into what you're doing. You like golf, all of a sudden they're playing golf, they're buying a golf set, playing golf with you, and you're like, wow, I got a golfing buddy now, a new friend. Yeah, join the club, and there's a few of us, come hang out. And then all of a sudden you see them turn against you. They stop agreeing with you, they stop liking what you like, because those people are just exploring themselves. They're just trying on your opinions and values and your tastes to see if it suits their values, to see if it makes them happy. And along the way, they may find it doesn't make them happy. And then they just stop doing it. And you may think, wow, they're two-faced. This is not a real person. And it may offend you. But understand that it's their problem, not yours. In other words, they're just trying to find themselves, kind of using you to do it. And they found that it doesn't suit them. So they stop. And they have an epiphany. This doesn't make me happy. I don't really agree with them. Now, some of them may all of a sudden turn against you, especially in romantic relationships. If you're dating a person with borderline personality disorder, you may find that all of a sudden they'll say to you, I always hated when you did this. I never believed in what you're doing. I never agreed with this and that. And whenever you did that, it annoyed the hell out of me. And you may be like, what? Where'd that come from? That is out of left field. And you may feel betrayed. You may feel like this is a two-faced person. You can't trust them. You may feel extremely disappointed, even to the degree of being heartbroken. It's because they're trying to find themselves. They probably have borderline personality disorder. It's most common amongst that personality disorder. And they just didn't find themselves being with you. And you just have to accept that. They're not a bad person. They're not two-faced. They just don't find the fulfillment and a sense of self-worth, which is what they're really looking for, and a true sense of belonging. And they may devalue you. This is what people with borderline personality disorder do. Suddenly they devalue you if you're not giving them that thrill of the hunt. And once you become easygoing and you're like agreeable with them, and then they no longer find a challenge. So there's different kinds of people that you may encounter in life that will let you down, that you may think are two-faced, that you may feel betrayed by. Hey, you got to deal with these people. It's part of growing up. You got to learn how to handle it. Because not everyone's going to get along with you. Not everyone is going to be authentic or as authentic as you would like them to be. Because they don't know themselves. They're still trying to find themselves, and if you have, they haven't. They're just trying things on for size. There's also reciprocation. When you say do certain favors for people, take them out for dinner, lend moral support, you're there for them during hard times. And they don't reciprocate that. They're not there for you for hard times. They don't buy you dinner. But you still enjoy their company, and you do it anyway because that's just who you are. You're generous. All of a sudden, it may hit you. They're not reciprocating. Well, then you need to have a conversation with them. You may need to say, hey, look, I'm paying for this. Why don't you pay for stuff? And I'm doing this for you. How come you don't do anything for me? This happened to me. I learned the hard way when I was growing up. My friends, when I was in high school before I got my driver's license, I had some friends that had their driver's license. And because I had a skateboard ramp, they would drive me around. They even told that to me. You're a cool person. We like hanging out with you. And, we drive you around, pick you up. It's not really in our way. Like we're going out of the way to come pick you up. But we do that because you have a ramp. You let us skate it. And you let a lot of people skate it. And this is the way our giving back. But, we don't go there all the time. And we're picking you up. But you're never offering us any gas money. And I was like, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right, man. I'm not here to use you. I didn't want to. Am I coming across like that? Like, God, I'm really sorry. I don't want to do that. I mean, let me offer you something. I don't think I had a job back then. Maybe I did. I forgot. But, look, if you need gas money, how much do you need? I said, well, we have to tell you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, I get it. Did you find your own ride next time? I was like, wow, if you want to bring it there, like, look, I get what you're saying. I'm willing to offer something. I apologize. But if you're going to act like that, there's something deeper going on here. And eventually we grew apart. I had good times with them. I don't have any regrets. And I've had this, I've been on the other side where I've done things for people. Had a friend in chiropractor school who always, I come bearing gifts. Whenever I visit somebody, I come bearing gifts. I bring a 6-pack of beer. I bring a pizza, bring something over to make it worth their while. And along the way, I realized they never reciprocate. And even when one of their fathers died, I called him up. I was there for him, offered him counsel. And he never reciprocated. And it really hit me. I don't think these guys are users, but they're incapable of being friends. Well, they're not incapable of being friends. They're friends with each other. And it just hit me. They have so much going on in their life. They didn't pass their board exams. They spent an extra year in chiropractor school. They didn't pass their classes. They had so much on their plate that they couldn't even see my needs. And this is going to happen. Some people are so preoccupied with whatever's going on in their life, family, relationship, career. There's so much stress in their life because stress creates a tunnel vision where you just can't see the periphery. And when a person is under a high degree of stress, you only tend to focus on your needs. You get stuck in survival. And it almost incapacitates them from seeing your needs. And along the way, I've discovered, well, if I want something, I need to ask for it. I need to say, hey, I'm doing this for you. Why don't you do something for me next time? Agreed? And form agreement. This is what I do now. I'll even state it. I'll pay for this one. You get the next one. And then if something along the way, some time passes, we forgot, I'll say, hey, look, you got the last time. I'll get this one. I create agreement. That's how you handle these kinds of situations. You got to ask for what you want or ask for what you need. So many people have they place these demands. especially the demand to make you comfortable. People don't like each other because they don't make them feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable around that person, so therefore I don't like them. And it's really about, comfortable doesn't always mean like fluffy cushions and feeling safe and secure. Sometimes comfortable is sharing your pain. Some people, their misery is their comfort. And if you don't share their misery, they're kind of like, you make me uncomfortable. You can't be that happy. How could you be so happy? Why, you're so loving and kind and cheerful. I don't feel comfortable around that. It's just unfamiliar to me. I like to be in abusive relationships. That's familiar to me. So a lot of people out there like it, whether you like it or not, believe it or not, that not really enjoy it, but that's what's comfortable for them. Everybody has their own comfort zone. And when you break out of it, it's uncomfortable. It's nerve-wracking. You have a degree of anxiety and nervousness. So some people you just maybe they're uncomfortable around you. And that's okay. Because if you're growing and they're not, you're going to make them uncomfortable. Because they're going to see how disciplined, how persistent, how consistent, how focused you are. And they're not. Even a person with high esteem and a lot of confidence, if you are that person and you talk to a person of low self-worth and low self-esteem, you'll notice they'll judge you and criticize you to bring you down to their level. Or perhaps you are this person with low self-worth and low self-esteem and you feel intimidated by people with high self-worth, confidence, and high value, and you find yourself criticizing them for no reason. People who are at a higher level of integrity often make a person of less integrity. You remind them that, like, God, I'm not so disciplined. I feel like such a lazy bum around you. I feel so unworthy. They compare themselves to you. Wow, I feel so dumb around you. Or you work so hard and I feel so lazy. And they don't like that because it really makes their issues apparent. And because it brings contrast. Those people in your life are not going to call you up. They're not going to agree with you. They're not going to support you because they don't know how. They don't know how to support themselves. And you're going to find those people in your life. You may know who I'm talking about. It could be that coworker who just doesn't pull their weight. It could be that friend who just doesn't want to, quit overeating or staying up late and not waking up for work and wondering why they're getting fired. And they don't want to listen or take your advice. They want to continue drinking and showing up for work, hungover. There's some people who don't want to change. And they're never going to meet your needs. You can never brainstorm with them. Hey, I want some feedback. I got this new idea. I'm working on this problem at work. Maybe you can help me solve it. And you go to brainstorm with them and they just don't offer any feedback because they just don't know what they don't know what you're talking about. If you want feedback, you want to brainstorm, you want reciprocation, you need to ask for it. You need to say, hey, I'm working on this project. I want to brainstorm. I'm going to throw some ideas at you. I want you to give me some feedback. And if they say, dude, that's like above my pay grade, maybe try this, you just thank them for what they're offering. They may say, man, I don't know what you're talking about. That's like beyond my pay grade. I can't help you. And say, well, hey, thanks for listening. Or if you want someone just to listen, you need to say it. You need to ask for it. Hey, look, I need to just get something off my chest. I just want you to listen. I don't want any opinion. I don't want any feedback. I really need for you to just listen. You need to ask for it. Hey, I'm doing this for you. I've bought this for you. I've done this for you. I need for you to do something for me to reassure me that you're my friend, to reassure me that you're not using me, to reassure me that you are the person I think you are. Or you are the person you say you are. Hold people accountable, not through some guilt and rage, but through pure, simple, hey, stand up for their integrity. Stand up for your own integrity. When you stand up for people, you say, look, I know you're better than this. That's why I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And just chalk it up to you've had a lot going on in your life. And I've probably haven't been on the forefront. I haven't been important to you because you got this going on. I get it. Your family comes first, or your job, you got a lot of pressure. I get why you're putting me second. I'm okay with that. But I've been there for you. How come you haven't been there for me? And you just, that's all you say. You don't give them, go, I've done this for you. You're such a terrible person. You don't need to give them a guilt trip. You simply state your disposition and give them an opportunity to explain themselves, to restore their integrity. Because you believe in them. If you want people to believe in you, you've got to believe in them. That's a part of leadership. And this may be difficult for you because maybe you haven't learned to assert yourself. And this is part of the lessons of life, becoming self-assertive. Asking for what you want, asking for what you need, knowing the difference between the two. Not everyone's going to meet your needs. Not everyone's going to give you what you want. If you're placing unfair expectations on others, demanding them to agree with you, make you feel comfortable, support you, well, that's on your shoulders. If they never agree to do that, they really don't have to, even as a friend. You need to create agreement. That's how you overcome this whole phenomenon. Ask for what you want, ask for what you need, get agreement, and now you can hold them to it. They'll hold themselves to it if they're a person of integrity. Most people value integrity. Most people want to have integrity. So they'll live up to it. But you'll always find that person who's going to constantly disagree with you, and that's okay because they're showing you the other side of the coin. You have these great speakers, Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, even President Obama was a great speaker. President Trump is a great speaker. You may not agree with him, but there's these great speakers who seem to polarize the world. Tony Robbins is a fantastic speaker, and I've heard people say they hate him. I love him personally. Well, how could you hate the guy? Because he's polarizing. You see, whenever you speak, you're speaking an opinion. You're speaking a viewpoint. And people are either going to agree or disagree with it. And that's just the nature of life. Not everybody has to agree with you. But what you can do on your end with people whom you disagree with, or people who state their disagreement with you, you empathize with them. First, cognitively, you get an understanding of their disposition. You get an understanding of their viewpoint, where they're coming from. So this way, you understand why they disagree with you, where they're coming from, and you can agree to disagree. It's as simple as that. Now, it's easier said than done, because when there's a lot of personal investment, there's a lot of emotional investment in your viewpoint, people are going to get upset. I'm right, you're wrong. How can you think that? You just listen to that person at that point, because you're only going to upset them by anything you say. You just understand them, just gain understanding. Do I understand this right? So you said blah, 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 blah. Am I understanding that right? Okay, I got it. I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, it makes sense. You don't have to agree with them, but you can express your understanding of what they're saying and where they're coming from. That often diffuses their passion, if you will. Now, for the people who are just out to sabotage you, you got to protect yourself. There are malignant narcissists. There are truly jealous people out there, truly selfish people out there who will sabotage you. You got to just look out for them. They are few and far between. They're very, sociopaths is less than 1% of the population. There's antisocial personality disorder, and they tend to be criminals. They are few and far between. Mostly you're just dealing with a jealous person, or a person who is really dissatisfied with their own life, and they blame you for the dissatisfaction when you had nothing to do with it. How they handle that dissatisfaction determines their character. Because they may come up to you, hey, look, I've seen you succeed. Can you help me out? That's a person of integrity. Most people won't do that, though. So you either offer help to them. Hey, look, I know you've been struggling. Let me help you out. Or, hey, I can tell you're out to sabotage people, and, I got my eye on you. And you don't share any work with them. You don't share anything with them. That's how you handle them. You don't share anything with them. So, a lot of people are comfortable making friends, forming agreeable relationships, but how do you handle the conflicting ones? How do you handle the ones where people disagree with you? Because you're going to make enemies along the way, such is the nature of life. You can't make everybody happy. But if you're a team leader, because that's what's moving up in the world, you begin to lead other people in the work that you yourself have succeeded in. That's how you increase your pay grade. You got to learn to lead your own life, which means you're going to have to learn to negotiate, compromise, and communicate with other people who disagree with you. Could be a personal relationship. Develop empathy, both cognitive and emotional, create agreement, develop understanding of others, and also work on your own boundaries. To have a strong boundary with a person who's just a complete jerk to you. Don't let them in your life. Look, I've had to deal with this in my own personal life. People that wanted to help me succeed and people who were just out to really see me fail. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's not easy dealing with those people. People you thought were your friends or at least allies, like coworkers, and you find out they're not. It's almost a disappointment in yourself. Like, how could you have trusted them? Everybody makes those mistakes. You learn from it. You learn to read the social cues. You learn to pick up on their body language or tone of voice, what they say. Is there consistency in their character? Is there consistency in their speech? Is their speech and actions consistent and congruent? Are they speaking authentically? That's what you got to look for. And I can help you do that. Because if you're going to move up in life, you need to learn to get along with everybody, really. A CEO learns how to get along with everybody. Sales reps learn how to get along with everybody. Doesn't mean you got to be their best friend. It just means you need to have some level of agreement with people. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to lead people effectively and create a sense of unity in workflow and efficiency. Even in friendships, coordinating events, you're going to find difficulty in coordinating events with friends. I've gone through this in my own life. And if you want to experience success, freedom, and fulfillment in your life, I can help you do that. I'm not better than you. I'm just farther on down the road. And I can show you the pitfalls, the obstacles, and how I overcame them so you don't have to, and help you get ahead in your life. This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. My information will be below this video. Go ahead and contact me for a complimentary discovery session where I can get to know what it is you're looking for. What do you want to create in your life so we can create a plan together to get you there. Thank you so much for listening. I sure hope that helps.